Hi guys, this is Brenda from Chiapence. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much for taking the time to check out my videos. I do all plant videos. I live in southern Maine and I have over 450 indoor plants. So, if you saw my last video, I briefly mentioned with a very saddened heart that I discovered thrips on some of my plants. So I'm just going to start this video with an update. As I mentioned before, I've never had thrips like I have them now. And what I'm discovering is each week, as I am watering my plants and checking out my plants, which I haven't even watered yet. It's Saturday morning and I'm doing my video this morning and I haven't watered yet. But just walking around, because I'm always walking around looking at them anyway, I found 4 more plants that had thrips, and they're all over my house in all different rooms. I am devastated. So thankfully someone mentioned in the comments last week that bonite systemic granular work on thrips. Now I used that almost exclusively for fungus gnats and fungus gnat larvae. And I really didn't know, I guess because I've never even had thrips, I didn't think of using it, because I had been using the bonite Mite X for, it kills thrips too, and spider mites. So I didn't think of the systemic for the thrips. So I have literally treated all of those plants with systemic as well as sprayed them. So just a word of advice to all of you who have never had that. It's really, really heartening, and I can't even tell you how crushed I am when I see some of my plants. And a word of advice that I would have is really examine your plants every couple of days, because all it takes is just one that doesn't look as beautiful as it used to, and it probably has a pest. Seriously. And sometimes I don't notice when it doesn't look as good, or I notice it a little bit on the surface, but then I don't think too much about it, and I just go on with my business and look at other plants. And so now I have thrips all over my house. And as I mentioned in my last video, I have ordered some ladybugs. They should be here in a couple of days, and I'm letting them loose, man, letting them loose. But it's a very sad time, and if I were a cussing woman, I would be cussing up a blue streak. And I am cussing inside. I'm cussing inside, man. It's very upsetting. So, having said that, I also noticed that one of my plants in my Ikea cabinet had thrips. So, and another one had spider mites in my cabinet today. So I took them out and I realized that a lot of my Ikea cabinet plants need care. So I have a whole list of videos that I'm going to be making going forward. But today I went in my cabinet and literally all of these but one came out of my cabinet, and they need to be repotted from sphagnum into potting mix. And I also have an avocado tree that I'm finally planting. My grandson and I planted from, ooh, I just spilled water, dang it. So I'm gonna do that last. But anyway, so without further ado, and one of them includes a moss pole, so it's very exciting. All right, so the first one I'm gonna repot today. First, thank you for listening to my rant. You know, only you guys would understand. I'm devastated that I'm dealing with thrips, I am. It's just so scary. The plants look so ugly when they're being infected with thrips. They look like they're very upset. You know, fungus gnats, you don't notice it too much. Spider mites, you definitely do, but thrips, you do. On the whole plant, it just starts looking like it's not the right color and everything. So anyway, you know, I have never really successfully been able to grow a Hoya Sunrise, and someone, I think I got this free. I did. I got this free when I got my Hoya Australis Lisa in the other room. A couple of years ago, I bought that Lisa, and the woman gave me some string of hearts cuttings and a little teeny, it was only like this big, of the Curtsii, and I have successfully potted it up in sphagnum, and it's been there for, oh my gosh, probably a long time. Maybe not a year. I think this fall it'll be 8 or so. 9 months. So that's number one. So what I'm going to do is bring you in a little closer. Let me bring you down here just to show you what I'm looking at. This is Hoya Sunrise, and this is what I'm dealing with. Oh, look at the little, pretty sure that's a root. I really don't want to damage that root. So let's see. Oh, look at that, it pulled right through. That was good. So this is what we've got right here. I am just going to loosen this sphagnum. Hoya roots, as you know, or if you don't know, I'm going to try to save this green stuff because I don't want to reuse that. But the rest I'm going to try to reuse because I'm still waiting for a shipment of sphagnum moss, and it's like gold around here, I'm telling you. So, yeah, Hoya roots are very, very, very fine and very, very delicate. So I do not want to damage. And plus, you know, a lot of the roots look like a piece of moss, so you got to be careful. So I'm very, very gently getting the sphagnum out of here. I really want to be gentle with this plant because, like I told you before, I've never grown one successfully. I've killed a few, but honestly, I've never grown one. I feel like I actually grew this because it came from a little piece that had no roots, and now clearly it does have roots, and I think it's ready for a little pot. So I am continuing, and it's really important that you get this moss off of the roots because they don't want their roots, Hoya don't want their roots to be wet all the time. They really don't. So you need to get this stuff off, and oh my goodness, I'm having a bit of a hard time here, but it's coming. I'm sorry it's taking so long, you guys, but it really is how long it takes, so. Gentle, gentle. All right, here we go. So this is a pretty nice root system. Pretty nice. See? I'm going to continue to get a little more pieces off. I really don't want there to be, I want there to be almost none left. None left. But if it's really stuck, then I think it'll be fine. I mean, just if it's just a teeny piece that's really stuck. I think that's good right there. Just give it a shake, not getting more little pieces off. All right, so let's just lay this down right here. And I have a, I wonder if this pot's too big. I almost feel like it might be. It is. All right, here's what I'm gonna do this, you guys. I'm gonna pot it back in this pot right here. That's what I'm gonna do. There's just plenty of room. So, having said that, I got my potting mix over here, my regular delicious potting mix. And I am gonna put a little bit right here. And I'm gonna pop that right in there like that. And try to hold it with my hands and then put the rest of it in. Pretty much all she wrote right there. Pretty cute, right? Hopefully it should be fine. Now it's in its little pot. So what I'm going to do, since all of these came out of my cabinet, I am going to put it back in my cabinet. So it's not a total shock. I've taken it out of the sphagnum moss, totally shocked the roots, and put it in potting mix. I don't want to just put it in the house. I want to put it back in the cabinet. So that's number one. All right, so number two is this beautiful Syngonium Chiapence. And this is, look at the root system. This has grown a lot since I've gotten it. And it's only been like 6 weeks or so in the cabinet. So it's time to repot this guy. So let's just push the sphagnum out of the way. Try to save it. Let's see what this looks like. I'm gonna bring it down again. Oh wow, okay, that's interesting. Here we go. Wow, what a beautiful root system. Look at that. All right, so like I did before, I'm gonna try to get this green moss off the top because I'm not gonna reuse the green. I don't need to. Okay, and then I am just going to gently loosen. These roots are, a lot of them are much more hardy looking. This is such a beautiful plant, you guys. It almost doesn't even look like a Syngonium to me. And it's just so beautiful. I had to have it. I think I paid, I want to say $15 for a top cutting. It only had like, I feel like it only had this one leaf though, this first one. So this one here and this new one coming are or how much it's grown. I've only had it for like I said, not very long, a couple of months, maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I got it on Etsy, and let's just get this moss off of here. See what we're dealing with. Wow, the roots are beautiful. I'm really happy about this. I'm so happy that I have this in my collection now. I just love Syngonium. They're one of my favorite genus of plants, and I think I mentioned that before in some of my other videos, but here we go. Wow, this is so much easier to get off than the Hoya because the roots are really pretty strong on this, and it looks great. See? It's really good. Still though, it's important to get as much as you can get off when you go from sphagnum to potting mix. You really need to get the chunks out. You can't leave them in there. You're going to get some root rot. That's my opinion. Actually, that's my experience. That's my experience. So I learn the hard way. Learn from my mistakes. All right. Pretty, 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 pretty. Oh my gosh, I love this plant so much. It's so beautiful. Look. Oh, look at that leaf. Isn't it pretty? I love it. All right. So, I'll just put that aside so I can try to save it. I'm going to lay this down, and I believe I'm going to pot this lovely thing in this size pot. I am not going to use the netting this time. My feeling is, since I have some leca in my mix, and if I just take a couple of leca balls, put them in the holes, dirt won't readily come out, will it now? This is the first time me trying this, you guys. Don't think I'm a weirdo, even though I am, kind of. All right, so I literally have a leca ball on, so I'm putting a scoop in, one little scoop. I'm not sure. Put this right in here like that. I have a feeling she's going to be one happy camper. See how I'm laying the roots in? That's what I'm doing. Get a little bit lower. So I am going to hold this up a little bit because I don't want it to be that deep. Oh my gosh, this plant's going to be so happy. So happy. This is a wonderful mixture of potting mix, fir bark, leca, perlite, and worm castings. All right. She looks better already. Isn't she pretty? I already treated her. I'm so paranoid of thrips now, you guys. It's like they're everywhere. I'm so upset. Anyway. All right. There she is. This third one, oh my word, I'm really scared to do, but she's so sun stressed. This is my Hoya Sunrise. She's been in my cabinet forever, ever. And this is going to be a nightmare probably to get the roots off of here. But I think it's time to put her in potting mix. She flowered for me once. You can see the peduncle right there. Sure you can. And she is growing and she's very happy in the cabinet. And this one's probably going to go back in the cabinet as well when I'm done. So let's see what she looks like. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look at the roots. Oh my land, I've waited. Okay, so I'm getting rid of all of this. I don't want any of this moss. So I'm just gonna put it right here. Wow, surprisingly, it's, look at this gnarly root thing right here. Look at that. You see that? It wasn't even like in the moss. That's pretty amazing. So, wow, this is really coming off quite easily. I wasn't sure if it would. I'm pretty excited that it is. Of course, I'm speaking pretty early in the process, but seems to be coming out pretty good. I feel like the roots of this plant are more hardy. Look how dense they are. It looks really beautiful, actually. Very, very nicely structured. They look healthy. And I am happy to say that they're thicker than the average Hoya root. So for those of you that didn't know that, in my experience, Sunrise Hoya have more hardy root system than most any other Hoya that I have seen thus far. And I have a lot of Hoyas, so this is really good news. And I'm really going at these hunks of moss, and they're just really, I'm not pulling any root off at all. They're just really holding up to me, giving them a little tug, and wow, this is absolutely beautiful. Really, really beautiful. So let me get rid of that hunk right there. So this is pretty amazing. What I think I'm gonna do, oh my goodness, when I plant this, I guess I didn't really notice that that it's kind of laying down the roots. I mean, there's roots everywhere, as you can see, because it's, you know, it's designed to like crawl up trees and stuff. I think I'm gonna plant it sort of like this, instead of like this. I'm gonna plant it like this, and maybe that will help me to get, so I'm gonna bury all these roots. This one hasn't been buried for a long time. So I'm gonna bury all those roots and see if I can get some new growth points. All right, so I'm gonna get rid of this stuff. Get out of there, get out of there. All right, so lay this down for a second. This one is going to go into, I feel like I might need a bigger pot, but I really don't think I do. I don't think I do. I think this pot is probably plenty big enough. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to go ahead and put some potting mix in the bottom of this pot. Not that much. And here's what I'm going to do. See if you can see with me. Oh, look at this root system, you guys. It's so gorgeous. So this is my plan. Hopefully it's going to work. I'm putting the roots in here, but I'm trying to do it more on one side and then lay it so that, let's see, I gotta put some in there. I'm gonna start with some, I think. Okay, I'm gonna start with some, and I don't really want to bury any, see, I want to get, see this one on the side here, see that root? I need to get that in the pot. Right in here, and I want to kind of lay it down like that so that all of those roots, I hope you can see this, all of these roots are going to get buried. Make sure it's right up against this side, and it is. So I feel like this might be doing the trick. I kind of want it to go, yeah, like this. I feel like I did pretty good on this one. I'm not sure though, you guys. The jury's kind of out, but you know what? Sometimes you just have to take risks with your plants. I just want to make sure that those roots are covered as well as they can be, you know? Just cover them up and hope that they take hold and grow. So there you have it. I am going to be putting, just so you know, I like to have white stock pots, so I'm probably going to be putting the Syngonium Chiapence in this in a nice white pot. So that's the finished result. Gonna go back in the cabinet. All right. Next to the last, it's very exciting, is I have this big pot. I have this moss pole that I made, and I'm gonna fill one end up. The reason why this really should be filled with moss to the end, but I ran out of moss and I'm waiting for a big giant bale of it this coming week. So I'm going to put, probably this end, I'm going to put Yeah, this end. I'm gonna put soil in here. I can get my little thingamajiggy. My little scoop. I'm actually gonna do this right over the soil thing because it's gonna get everywhere if I don't. It helps to have that fir bark. You can't see this, but it helps to have the fir bark and leca in there so that all the soil doesn't come out. So now I'm just gonna go like this and then like this. I really didn't fill it in very good. That's all right, it'll go in there. All right, that's how it's gonna go. All right, so, not sure why I did that first. It really wasn't bright. Sorry. I'm emptying it back out. I'm stupid. Sorry. Sorry, I got sidetracked. All right, so next is my Philodendron Splendid. This is really going good, and I've had it growing in pond its whole life. So I am going to be taking it out of the pond. Put the Hoya Sunrise thing in there. I'm taking it out of the pond. I'm nervous as heck to do this, you guys. I don't even know what I'm doing. I gotta be honest. So I have a plate here, which probably isn't gonna be good enough. Okay, let's drain the water out first. See what I'm doing? I'm draining out the water. Now it's getting up my arm. That's gross. And then I feel like most of it's out. I'm just going to drain the last couple of drops out. Our water looks really yucky, but it doesn't smell bad. All right, so I am putting the pond in here. I figure if I spin this and just keep doing it the way I'm doing it, that would probably be the best way to get it out of here without damaging the roots or anything. I don't want to pull on the roots at all. I know it has roots because it's grown so much. All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here we go. These are the roots. These are really, really healthy looking. I'm pretty happy about this. This I want to grow on a moss pole, so I've been waiting until the roots were nice and established, which they definitely are. And they are beautiful, beautiful roots. And I had like, I don't use water in my leca. The plants that I have in leca and pond, the pond I use just water because there's fertilizer in it, but the ones in leca, you have to use like a nutrient enhanced water, like with liquid dirt or Super Thrive or something like that. All right, this is ready to go. This is really exciting. All right, let me get this plate of pond out of the way. All right, now we can go back where we were. This pot, and I am doing what I said I was gonna do with the soil. Sorry, I had to figure out which end was up. Actually, I could do it right over here because the soil is gonna go in here anyway. Fill up the bottom as best you can. And you really do want to fill it up. I didn't fill it up very good last time, so I'm going to hold it more of an angle and try to cover some of the holes. I really want it to be full. There we go. All right, now we'll dump this back out. And I want this to be right there. And there we have it. All right. Ta-da! All right, so I'm going to start by putting some soil in here. Soil up in here. Not too much. Not too much. Let me see how this is gonna work. Oh yeah, that's gonna work very nicely. Very, very nicely. Oops, you can't even see what I'm doing. I'm sorry. This is what I'm going to be looking at. Looks good, right? Yep. All right, so let's put some more. I'm just going to hold that right there for a second. See if I can do this left-handed. Just put some more in. It's too still too. I'm gonna put some more. All right, I think it's gonna be right there now. So let's just do this. All right. I'm pulling it up a little bit so that it's gonna be planted at the right depth. Because I don't want it to be too deep. So I'm just gonna hold up, as you can see, I'm gonna hold up the leaves. Just do it like that. Push it down. This is really exciting, you guys. I've been meaning to do this, and honestly, I feel like whenever I think about, I don't know, whenever I see different people using different mediums and different ways of staking and different ways to promote growth and different ways to promote better root systems, and oh my gosh, I just always have to try it. I have to try it. Well, I tried moss poles, and I'm kind of excited about it, even though it's a little bit intimidating in the beginning. I was kind of scared, but I feel like I've learned a lot along the way, and that I've made a lot of adjustments. So one adjustment. One thing that I forgot, sorry, I forgot my gardening tape. Hold on, I'm back. Okay, so I have a couple of pieces of gardening tape that I'm going to be using. So again, I'm going to bring you down here so you can see what I'm doing. And the idea, as far as I understand, is to try to get it's pretty much nodes. You want to get it so that the node, the aerial root node is against the moss at a place where it's gonna adhere to the moss and grow into the moss. So you want to watch where you put the tape and where you put the stem, and don't have it too tight. So that's pretty loose. And it should work right there for sure. So there's one. Lots of new growth here. I'm pretty excited about this plant. Pretty excited. It looks good. And here's the other one. The other one's taller, and I got a brand new leaf coming. Pretty. I just love Philodendron Splendid. This is another plant that I paid more than I typically do, just because it's so beautiful, and I really wanted it in my collection. So yeah, I went ahead and pulled the trigger. All right, so this is pretty much the same way. Let me show you what I'm doing here. This one has aerial roots here and here. So if I put the tape right in between these aerial roots and these aerial roots, like right here, I think that's going to be the ideal spot to expect it to successfully grow right into the moss. That's it. I really feel like, not sure if I love that now, but I think I'm kind of stuck with that. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. See what I've done? So go down a little bit. Should be able to go into the roots right there. All right, so this is the finished product of my now newly repotted Philodendron Splendid. Very excited about that. And last but not least, I'm just doing this for my grandson. Evan, watch this video. This is your plant. Avocado. I just pinched the top of this because typically when I grow avocados, it just grows straight up and looks ridiculous. I just pinched the top of it, so hopefully it's gonna grow now at 2 points instead of just 1. So I decided to put that directly into this pot. Directly into it. Typically I don't with these, but I am for my grand boy. I think it's a good sized pot to start with for an avocado because pretty soon it's gonna be pretty big. Look at these beautiful roots. Story behind this is that he spent the night, I don't know, 4 months ago maybe. And he loves avocado, so I bought him an avocado and he'll literally just, I'll cut it up and he'll just eat it. He's 10. And I'm gonna take a little bit of this out. So, hold on. I'm losing my train of thought. He's so cute. So I gave him the avocado and then I had the pit, and so I said, hey, how about if I soak this pit overnight and then I put it and I plant it and grow it into an avocado tree. Would you like me to do that? And he's like, sure. So we soaked it overnight actually, and then the next morning we took the skin off, and literally all that we did was put it in a paper towel, a damp paper towel, in a plastic bag, blow some air into it, and put it underneath the grow light in my sunroom. And I'm not kidding, in 2 weeks it popped open and there was a root. So that's the way to root it. You can start with toothpicks and water, but it's gonna take forever that way. So this has only been a couple of months, and there it is. So this is for my grandson, Evan. All right. Well, you know what, you guys? We've made it to another end of one of my videos. I'm sorry if I chatted it up too much, but that's just my nature. So thank you so much for taking the time to join me today in this here video. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing, and it really helps me to grow my channel, which is what I'm trying to do. Give me ideas on content. It's all about you. I mean, I could make a video every day with what I do with watering and planting and pruning and throwing things away and chopping and propping, and oh my gosh, it's constant. But I'm just trying to do this so that you guys are enjoying it and learning. So anything that you want to say or comment, I always appreciate any kind of feedback. So until the next time, please take care of yourselves. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless.